Global Money Week 2023 annual report. So we will have a very interesting webinar today, listening from different experiences from around the world. I'm sure this will provide a lot of inspiration to all of you. So let me start this webinar by giving the floor to two colleagues who will give opening remarks. We will first have Miles Larbi, who is Head of Financial Consumer Protection, Financial Education and Financial Inclusion at the OECD. And he will be then followed by Magda Bianco, who is Head of Consumer Protection and Financial Education Department at the Bank of Italy. She is also co-chair of the G20 Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion. And last but not least, she's also the chair of the OECD INFE, which is the International Network for Financial Education, which oversees Global Money Week. So Miles, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Chiara. Let me just check that you can hear me and see me, because the connection here, I apologize in advance, is not terribly stable, but hopefully it's working. So let me add my huge welcome and thanks to everyone for joining this launch of the Global Money Week 2023 annual report. We're really very happy to launch this document, which summarizes this year's campaign and highlights some of the most innovative and exciting activities that were organized during the week. Although I guess in some ways that can apply to all of the activities that were organized during Global Money Week this year. So I want to, of course, thank everyone who participated, individually and all the organizations. It's been a huge success. Over 40,000 organizations participated in Global Money Week 2023, including over 2,000 who participated for the first time. About 120 million people were reached during the campaign through direct and indirect activities. I'm receiving some messages that people can't see any slides. I don't have any slides, actually, just to be clear. So far, over 60 million children and young people were engaged in the campaign since the beginning in 2012. We're very grateful for the support we received this year from the G20 India presidency, which just goes to show that financial education of children and young people remains high on the policy agenda of people all around the world. And of course, I would warmly like to thank the Bank of Italy, who have been great supporters this year and have co-organized with the Secretariat the Global Money Week global launch in March of this year. This year's campaign was held under the theme of Plan Your Money, Plant Your Future, to highlight the connection between individual actions and society as a whole, and the fact that personal financial decisions don't only impact on an individual's financial future, but can also influence society and the environment. The way each of us manage and spend our money, of course, has a collective impact. And this theme was really taken up and integrated in the activities of Global Money Week 2023 in many different ways by many of the participants in the campaign. Some organizations took the theme as an opportunity to highlight the importance of financial planning to secure one's financial well-being. Others took the theme as an opportunity to raise awareness on sustainable consumption and also on personal finances. And others really went out into nature and organized plogging activities and will
Okay, I'm sorry. I think we're having a connection issue on my side. Perhaps Magda, would you like to go and we see if we can get him back? Thanks.
Can get, yeah, Miles back.
Thanks,
okay,
Magda, please.
No problem at all. So again, from me too, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. I'm really honored to be here today, mainly as OECD INFE chair, to present the findings of the Global Money Week 2023 report. This year, I would say our mission to enhance financial literacy and empower the next generation has taken us really on a remarkable journey. The theme that Miles mentioned, plan your money, plant your future, well shows that much like we carefully plan and nurture the seeds of a plant to ensure a fruitful harvest, we must really similarly nurture the financial future of our youth. And this mission cannot really be undertaken by single countries. It must be, and actually it is, we have seen from the numbers that Miles mentioned, a really collective effort. As we examine the various initiatives, programs, and educational efforts realized during the Global Money Week 2023, we were really inspired by the dedication and the passion of individuals and organizations worldwide. I think the report really incorporates and shows the collective endeavors and the achievements of a really global community by now. In addition to the collective effort, it's crucial, I think, that the initiatives launched during the Global Money Week extend really beyond this week. We should think of Global Money Week not just an annual event or starting as an annual event, but then becoming a global and a permanent movement dedicated to improving the financial well-being, whose effects extend beyond the boundaries of the week and resonate really throughout the whole year. Well, despite the progresses made with the Global Money Week and in general in our effort for financial education for young people, we know that yet there is still much work to be done as we navigate an ever-changing financial landscape, and we know how much new instances and innovations are around. We not only need to lay the foundations for financial literacy among the youth, but also update our educational programs to address the changes in the financial system, both current and prospective. I really think that navigating the financial system today, especially for the younger generation, in a sense, no longer only entails distinguishing between, say, stocks and bonds, as we used to say at the beginning, or calculating interest rates, but really means understanding the world of cryptocurrencies, discerning a reliable source of information from a non-reliable one, or recognizing the implications of our planet's well-being from our everyday habits. To this end, at least this year in Europe, we can rely on a very powerful instrument, which is the Financial Competence Framework for Children and Youth. A great achievement. It has been released by both OECD and EU at the end of September, and I think it's a great example also for other countries. Working with a common and updated framework is a very important step towards building a common understanding of financial literacy competencies for children and youth, regardless of gender, socioeconomic background, country. In closing, I would really like to extend my gratitude to all who have contributed to the Global Money Week, but also to this report, of course, to the OECD Secretariat for major work which they do, and to all who will continue to empower the world's youth during next year, the 2024 Global Money Weeks. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Magda, for reminding these very important issues. I think you warmed up the discussion perfectly. And thanks for reminding again that Global Money Week is more than a week. It's really a year-long effort in all of the participating countries. So we can now really kickstart the presentation and the launch of this report. So I will now give the floor to my colleague, Bianca Isainku, who will give a short presentation, giving you the key highlights of this year's Global Money Week annual report. Please, Bianca, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Chiara, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's watching us live. I'm really excited to be here with you today and really share some insights from the Global Money Week annual report, which is now live on the Global Money Week website. So let me first start by really thanking everyone and emphasize again the importance of collaboration and the fact that you have contributed to making this Global Money Week campaign a real success. As it was mentioned by Miles previously, we have impressive results as well this year. We have the Global Money Week campaign that was held in 106 countries around the world. We had over 40,000 organizations that participated in the Global Money Week this year, and over 2,000 that did this for the first time, which also shows that Global Money Week continues to grow from year to year. And thanks to your activities and to your efforts, both by sharing what you are doing on social media, but also on television and radio, we have managed to reach collectively around 120 million people during the Global Money Week 2023. And about 7 million children and young people benefited from financial education, either through financial education activities that were held in person and or online. So really great achievements in terms at least of outreach of the Global Money Week this year again. So thank you all to everyone who participated to make this campaign a success. And we are, of course, also very much grateful to the fact that we had the support of the G20 this year again, thanks to the India G20 presidency. So warm thank you for that. Of course, this has contributed to elevate the importance of financial education of young people and children, young people at on the highest policy level agenda, and to maintain it there. So that's really great. So thank you so much. As it was mentioned before, the Global Money Week theme this year, as you all know, was Plan Your Money, Plan Your Future. And this theme was really chosen to start raising awareness about the importance of adopting a responsible and also forward-looking approach when making financial decisions, because we know that the future financial well-being of individuals also depends on and is linked to the health of the planet and of the society as a whole. So this year's campaign really wanted to raise awareness about this and encourage organizations to basically develop activities that took this theme into consideration and started discussions with young people about these topics. And in fact, we have been really excited to see that Global Money Week participating organizations have taken inspiration from this theme and have created many different types of activities and have used this theme or have interpreted this theme in different ways. So we have seen, for instance, that some organizations have actually focused on the importance of financial planning to secure one's own financial well-being and having this responsible attitude to investing and also to financial management when addressing the theme of the Global Money Week, and also looking forward and looking in the long term to life goals of young people. And others have really taken the Global Money Week theme to highlight the link between this financial well-being at the individual level and the health of the planet and of the society as a whole. And we have seen really various workshops that have been organized around sustainable finance and the link to financial literacy and financial usage of products, for example. There have been also discussions around ways to protect the environment, actually through making sure that you are looking at your own consumption and really discuss what is responsible consumption and how do you reduce, reuse, or recycle as a way to save money as well, not only have a less impact on the planet. And of course, for instance, the link between reducing waste and its connection to the impact on the planet of one individual, for instance, actions, but also the link to the personal finances too. And some other organizations emphasize the role of the circular economy or of the sharing economy to achieve both societal and individual goals. And of course, there were also some activities or some countries and organizations that looked at the link between one's professional activity the way income is generated and its impact on the environment. So, for example, we have seen some countries which have discussed with young people about the role or what it means to be a social entrepreneur and what it means to basically develop activities, entrepreneurial activities, which are responsible socially but also environmentally, while still providing livelihood for the young people and their families. And here on the last bullet point, I added an example of an activity which is quite interesting. We haven't heard about it before, but it's called plogging. And if you're curious to know what it is, you have to stay tuned, because we are going to hear a little bit more about it in the panel that is going to follow. So really very much a wide spectrum of activities that the different countries and organizations have implemented, and we're really excited to share these with you. You can read more about them in the report, but also on the Global Money Week country pages to see what each country individually has done in Global Money Week campaign 2023. As you are all aware, the campaign this year was launched on March 2023. 20th of March through an online event that was held on Zoom with the great support of Bank of Italy. And again, let me take the opportunity to thank the colleagues from Bank of Italy for being such great co-organizers of this launch event. And as many of you know, this launch event featured discussions between high-level policymakers and young people from around the world. So we really had an interactive discussion where young people from Italy, South Africa, Morocco, Ecuador, and Ukraine put forward questions to high-level policymakers about personal finances and how to behave in the financial sector. So that was really an exciting event, I have to say. And let me come to basically the resources that we have created in preparation of the Global Money Week. As you know, every year, the Secretariat prepares several tools and resources that are aimed at helping you and supporting you to prepare for the Global Money Week campaign. And this year, we actually developed this or updated the Global Money Week toolkit, which was then translated in various languages. We had the Global Money Week brochure, again, translated in various languages, a Global Money Week social media toolkit. And this one, this document was actually providing some examples of tweets or posts that you could use on social media and providing insights on how you can actually effectively increase your impact on social media. And in fact, thanks to this and probably to your efforts, we have seen that this has worked, because over 120 million people were engaged throughout the week. So we are really excited about that. And of course, last year we also produced the Global Money Week report, which was full of ideas and activities that were developed and implemented by different countries, and that were used as inspiration for many of you to develop the Global Money Week activities this year. So now the only thing left for me to do is really to encourage you to go online and check the Global Money Week annual report for 2023. Here you will find a selection of some of the most exciting initiatives that have been organized this year. And we hope that this will inspire you to create similar or different or other activities for Global Money Week 2024. And as a reminder, if you would like to check out the details of each country, of the 106 countries which participated this year in the Global Money Week, we encourage you to go on the Global Money Week country pages and basically check each country individually for the different activities. And of course, if you have ideas, questions, suggestions, or anything that you would like to share with the Secretariat, feel free to get back to us. And last but not least, allow me to close this presentation just by announcing or reminding you that the Global Money Week 2024 theme has been revealed, and it is Protect Your Money, Secure Your Future. And the theme next year will focus on safe money management and on the importance of adopting a responsible and informed approach to personal finances by being aware of potential risks in the financial sector. And of course, such risks can include different risks, especially on the digital field. We see financial scams and frauds, including phishing, money muling, online shopping scam, and of course, risks related to data privacy, such as identity theft. We have seen over the past years that young people are especially likely to fall victims to these types of financial frauds and scams due to limited financial literacy and also due to limited experience that they have in the financial sector. So this is why we have decided together with the Global Money Week working group to choose this campaign and to encourage organizations next year to focus on this topic for the Global Money Week 2024 campaign. So we really hope that you will join next year between 18 and 24 of March to protect your money and secure your future of you and of the children from your country. So thank you very much. Chiara, back to you.
Thank you very much, Bianca, for bringing us through the 2023 report and already giving us some highlights of the next edition for next year. So we can now go into the panel discussion and presentations from different experiences from around the world. We have an exciting set of 5 speakers truly from around the world. So you will hear what they have done this year and about the creative ideas that they've had about the theme of the campaign. So we will start with 2 colleagues from Austria. They are Annalena Frisch and Mabel Reitbauer. They are from the Federal Ministry for Climate Action, Environment, Energy, Mobility, Innovation and Technology in Austria. So Annalena and Mabel, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much and good afternoon also from us. My name is Mabel Reitbauer and together with my colleague, we're very happy to be presenting Austria's Federal Ministry's Action, Green Finance, Green Financial Literacy activities and initiatives. And to start, maybe next slide, please. Because we have very limited time, I just want to give you a very brief overview, a little bit of context and background about our climate goals here in Austria, as well as why we as a Ministry for Climate Action work on so many green finance activities. So Austria aims to be climate neutral by 2040. And in order to achieve our climate and energy targets by 2030, we actually must invest at least 16.2 billion euros a year in the sectors industry, energy, transportation, and buildings alone, just to achieve our climate and energy targets. And we know that the financial sector is key in order to reach an orderly transition to a net zero world. So we in Austria have enacted several policies to support the redirection of private capital away from fossil infrastructure towards green investments. We have many, many different activities in that field. And together with the Ministry of Finance, we published our Green Finance Agenda this year. It's a strategy that points the way towards a very climate-friendly, ecologically sustainable financial sector. It addresses 3 main topics, so mobilizing capital, managing risks, and fostering transparency. And with this agenda, we have a roadmap that very clearly defines how and when concrete measures are to be implemented, as well as which institutions need to implement them. And well, green financial literacy is one very important pillar within our green finance activities and within promoting transparency and a very long-term perspective. Next slide, please. So this year's Global Money Week theme, Plan Your Money, Plant Your Future, fits very well with our green finance activities in Austria. We're constantly working on establishing future-oriented and a more ecologically sustainable financial sector. And when we talk about green financial literacy, we address a broad range of stakeholders or target groups. Mainly, we address experts in the financial sector and management bodies, but also students and citizens. For each target group, we have very specific events, we have specific formats, we offer them, and we also work closely with the Ministry of Finance within their national financial education strategy. So it's implemented very well throughout the organizations here. Next slide, please. So today we will focus mainly on teenagers or students, young people. And for that target group, or for students, we mainly provide different teaching materials for schools. For example, we created educational materials together with the Vienna Stock Exchange about future-oriented and responsible investments. And this module on sustainable finance is an extension of already existing financial literacy materials that the Vienna Stock Exchange already offers. So it's meant to be used in schools. It provides teachers a guide on how to explain and teach the sustainable finance topics in the classroom. And it contains theoretical inputs, backgrounds, as well as very practice-oriented exercises. And we also work closely with educators on those projects. So we have different teaching materials, learning units, also with a project with Insert Money about green financial products, the green financial markets. So these are our three main products we can offer schools or teachers to teach that subject. And yeah, occasionally we also hold workshops for students or teens. This year we were a part of the Financial Future Days of Austria's Ministry of Finance, which were held during this year's Global Money Week. And next slide, please. And our workshop or our topic was green finance, how is my money affecting the climate crisis? Because we believe creating awareness and thus knowledge about the climate crisis is key to understanding the topic of green finance. And that's why we started the workshop with a little bit of facts about the climate crisis, status quo, where are we now, why do we need to act now, and why does it need to happen very fast? And we included different elements. So we had also theoretical inputs and also interactive elements to keep the students' attention and also to see if they understand the concepts we were telling them. So for example, ESG, so that's how we were able to see if they understand what the context or the connection between climate and finance was. And we had 3 workshops with around 30 to 35 students. So we reached around 100 students between the ages of 15 to 17. And the feedback we got was very positive as we presented a new perspective on looking at the financial sector or the financial market as a very important player in fighting the climate crisis. And yeah, now my colleague Annalena Frisch will talk more about the content, the workshop structure, as well as the learnings we had working from the students. Oh, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So again, welcome from my side. I will carry you through a little bit of content and structure of our workshop. So next slide, please. Yes. So first of all, it's the link between finance and the climate crisis is not as obvious as, for example, reducing flights or changing heating systems for climate protection. And so we had to go a little further in our explanation. And we started with the most tangible, which is that for climate change mitigation, we need a lot of new infrastructures and new technologies in the economy. And all of these new technologies need a lot of money to be implemented. And we pointed out that this investment is, however, really worth it because climate action is much more cost effective than climate inaction. And we went on by explaining that governments cannot cover all these costs alone. And that's where we created the link between finance and climate action, explaining really that private finance also plays a large role in financing the green transition. And when going on explaining green finance, it was super important to us to make sure, or to explain the students, that green finance is not only for large investors, companies, or banks, but that it's all, but that each and everybody who has money invested in some form of savings or checkings account can decide what this money is used for by making their investment decisions. Now, to make all of this complex stuff a bit more handy, we explained some key concepts, such as the ESG scores of financial products and the threat of greenwashing. And we also provided some hands-on solutions when referring to the Austrian UZ 49, which is a label for sustainable finance products. Next slide, please. So as Mabel mentioned already, we also included some interactive parts in our workshop. We used an online tool where students could participate with their smartphones and where we could then discuss the results on the big screen. So we had a poll in the beginning where we asked for general measures for climate protection. Then we had an ESG quiz, which you can also see on this slide. So we provided some measures that were implemented by companies, and we then asked the students to assign these measures to the respective realm of environment, social, or governance. And in the end, we also asked the students to write down some personal take-home messages. And we ended our workshop by discussing these take-home messages. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we discussed the take-home messages with the students and also provided our take-home messages. And it was really important to us to emphasize again the urgency of the climate crisis and also the agency that the current generations have to make a change. And regarding green finance, it was really important to us to make sure that the students remember that climate action is more cost efficient than climate inaction, and that we really need massive increase in funding to realize the green transition, and that everyone through investing green can make a change and can participate in green finance. So next slide, please. Regarding the limitations and our learnings from the workshop, we figured out, first of all, that the climate crisis is a major issue for young people. And so that the link between finance and the climate crisis provides a new perspective and can be a real motivator for young people to talk and to think about finance in general. Then we also realized that green finance is a very specific topic, and it requires prior knowledge in economics, for example, about the impact of finance on the real economy, and that this is kind of a hurdle for workshops on green finance. Then further, it was also important to us to really make people understand the broad link between the climate crisis and finance. And even though each of us works really on specific topics, we thought that it's super important here to not get lost in details, but rather really make people understand the broad link. And last but not least, we found out that students have a really limited scope of action in regard of to climate finance, and because they may have some checking or saving account, but however, they are not too involved with investment, insurances, or pension funds. And so this is why we focused mainly on creating awareness and encourage people to explain the topic further. However, we also showed some hands-on tools, how to detect greenwashing, and provided guidance to identify green finance products. So thank you very much, and we are looking forward to discussion.
Thank you very much, Annalena and Mabel. This was certainly a very, very timely topic, and I'm sure these workshops were extremely interesting. And I do agree that in many cases, sustainability issues can be an entry point to talk about money and personal finances, especially with young people. So that was a very good point. Before moving to the next speaker, let me remind all of our attendees in the webinar that you are more than welcome to ask questions to our panelists. You can do so via the Q&A function, and I will take questions at the end. But of course, you can share questions at any time. Next, we will move to El Salvador, and we will hear from Maria Eugenia Pineda from the Central Bank of El Salvador about their programs during Global Money Week. Please, Eugenia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. The next slide, please. First of all, I'm going to start thanking to the OECD team for extending us this invitation to participate, and for the valuable opportunity to learn from affairs around the world. For the Central Reserve Bank of El Salvador, it's a tremendous honor to be here sharing with you about the efforts carried out in El Salvador during the Global Money Week. Next slide, please. The Central Bank role as regulator allows it to formulate and implement public policies for the financial system, making it more inclusive and stable. In this sense, the Central Bank is very committed with financial education because we are aware that it represents a powerful tool to improve financial inclusion and thus achieve economic and social welfare for the Salvadorian population. The Central Bank is the coordinator of the National Council for Financial Inclusion and Education, and the TWID is in charge of the National Financial Inclusion Policy and the National Financial Education Strategy Execution, as well as the evaluating and monitoring of the National Financial Education Plan, and it's also responsible for carry out actions focused on the education community. Next slide, please. We have an education program since 2080, but the last several years, the Global Money Week has been the most important action need. In terms of scope, I would like to highlight that this year we had the participation of 21 institutions involved. And these institutions were from the government, institutions from the public and private banking. All the participants carried out 45 activities. 16 of these activities were on site and 29 virtually. All these activities were aimed to young people and employees for the different institutions that participated in the Global Money Week, and consisted in webinars, talks in schools, universities, virtual courses. We had an open house at the Superintendency of the Financial System, and many others. We have a lead through social media with an influencer from El Salvador, and he was talking about financial education and green finance. The next one, please. Some of the topics addressed in these activities were financial education and green finance, sustainable bonds, safe for a green future, lessons learned about saving and responsible consumption, financial education as a driver of green entrepreneurship, the power of sustainability and the financial decisions. These actions have benefited 7,540 people, and thanks to the different posts to social media, more than 6.8 million people were reached. Next one, please. In El Salvador, the sustainability focus of the Global Money Week is especially relevant. Due to its geographical location, the country is highly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, such as increases in temperature, periods of abundant rainfall and droughts. We have a water crisis, and many others. For all the above reasons, in El Salvador, important efforts are being undertaken in the area of green finance and sustainability, both public and private financial institutions are carrying out important actions to provide the Salvadorian population with the necessary tools to face the climate change in a resilient manner. In addition, the National Council for Financial Inclusion is working on the design and implementation of a green finance roadmap, which considers the financial and environmental education as a key component. For all these reasons, the Central Bank identified the Global Money Week as a great opportunity to help to ensure that young people from an early age to be aware of the global and national climate reality, and also be informed about the services and products that we have in the country for meeting new challenges. During the Global Money Week in El Salvador, we have 3 activities that I can say that are the most important activities. First, we have a social media campaign to promote financial education and the green finance. We have panels aimed to students from a higher level education, where my colleagues that are in charge of the green finance roadmap were sharing about the topic with from different parts of the country, and the green route. The next one, please. I would like to emphasize on the green route, since it was our strongest activity. It was held throughout the week. It took place at the sports facilities of the Central Bank, and we received students from 10 schools, mostly from public schools, and children of the Central Bank employees. Each tour lasted 2 hours. For achieve this fair, we invite some institutions of the government and some banks that are involved in the topic of green finance and sustainability to share with the participants about the importance of the options of green financial products and services that we have in the country. The green route consisted of 11 stands aimed to introduce children and young people into the topic of green finance and teach them about the impact of personal finance decisions on the environment and society. In addition to learning about general economic and financial education concepts in an interactive way through different dynamics such as Kahoot, trivias, clips about recycling and the environment, games to learn how to identify green loans, among others. The next one, please. The institutions that participated in the green route were the Superintendency of the Financial System, the Deposit Guarantee Institute, the Development Bank of El Salvador, the Agricultural Development Bank, the Vivienda Bank, Bancovi, and Banco Hipotecario. On these stands, institutions share with participants very important topics, such as green and sustainable bonds, green credits, finance sustainable projects, savings, accounts with simplified requirements, deposits guarantees, renewable energy for financial decision-making, green credits and sustainable investments, optimization in natural resources, investments and entrepreneurship, and basic financial concepts. The next one, please. In addition to this, the Central Bank counted with 4 thematic stands: the challenge of saving, green finance, rescue of water, and know your money. In these stands, participants were made aware of the importance of caring for the environment and how these actions also have a positive impact on personal finance. Participants had the experience of generating energy by pedaling a bicycle. They learned about clean energy alternatives. They also were aware about the current situation of El Salvador. They learned how to care of the water and the importance of making responsible consumption decisions. And they also learned tips to identify counterfeit bills. The next one, please. As a closing activity of this fair, the students had the opportunity to participate in a very interesting activity they participated in a plugin. A plugin, it's a term that comes from the word pluck up and the word jogging, which consists in combining the physical activities with the activity of collecting garbage. Thanks to this activity, students learned the importance of the correct classification of waste. They were divided into a group of 20 members. The mission of each group was to overcome all the obstacles that were on a football field. And the first group in complete the task received a prize. For this, we collect several materials like plastic, cans, technological waste, and then we sanitize these materials for the achievement of this activity. With this dynamic, the students learn about the importance of these activities like recycling for the environment and also for generate sources of employment thanks to the collecting centers, because this is a way to live for many people in a country. The next one, please. As coordinators of the Global Money Week in El Salvador, we think that the most valuable lesson that we learned during this campaign is that we have to keep in mind that ecological crisis is real and is a latent threat. And due to it, we cannot carry out financial education actions without the sustainability approach, because this is really important for promoting a financial culture responsible with the environment to ensure a financial inclusion that is enabling for economic, social, and sustainable welfare. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Eugenia. This was extremely interesting, and we eventually found out what plugging was about. It's always good to
Thank you.
combine financial literacy with some good exercise and garbage collection. So thank you very much for this initiative and for telling us more about it. Now we are going back to Europe, and I would like to invite Maria Karvounopoulou from Bank of Greece. I know you will tell us more about your money museum, and we're eager to learn more. Thank you. Maria, please, the floor is yours. I think you need to unmute yourself, please.
You can hear me now, don't you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, in the meantime, I can remind everyone that the webinar is being recorded. So I think there was a question in the Q&A. So the webinar is being recorded, and you will find the recording on the Global Money Week website. Just give us a few days after the event. Thanks. Please, Maria.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, perfect.
Good, thank you. So good afternoon to all of you. I'm really enthusiastic to share our GMW experiences with you today, and thank you so much for the invitation. I have to admit that our museum's participation in GMW 23, which was actually our second one, our first being in 22, has been quite an inspiring and eye-opening, I could say, experience for us, especially with regard to what has been happening around the world in relation to green financial education. I would like to start by briefly introducing the museum so that you get to know who we are and what you do. I'll mostly do this through photos because, as you know, it explains many things much better than words. So please allow me to do so. The Museum of the Bank of Greece has been operating within the framework of the bank since 2010 and is dedicated to financial literacy. So if you would visit our museum, you would discover technologically and operationally modern educational center in economic matters. You can see some views here, rich illustrative material, interactive multimedia applications, quiz games, information screens, tactile exhibits, and more. Our museum is usually packed with students. It's permanent. The temporary exhibitions are being visited by almost 7,000 students per year, aged 12 to 17. And this is actually the top of our capacity with our current resources. What we offer them through our program in the context of our exhibitions is a learning and entertaining experiences that utilizes the most modern museology practices for a better understanding of economy and monetary history. Because you see, we all know that teenagers are really hard to reach and even harder to capture their attention effectively, not to say to maintain it. So attractive, innovative practices such as escape room inspired programs, for instance, had to be part of the game. In our permanent exhibitions, one can find, as you can see, all sorts of money-related exhibits. And then there is our temporary exhibition, in the context of which our GMW programs were designed this year. The exhibition is titled Economy and Climate, Handled with Care. We really think that it needs to be handled with care. It's a very fragile relationship, this one. And of course, this exhibition describes the phenomenon of climate change and it explores its relation to the economy. Focusing mainly on Greece, it builds on key contributions by specialized economists and experts of the Bank of Greece. And as you can see, it's very up to date. It includes digital exhibits. It's aimed to enhancing awareness and active involvement of the public to show what the phenomenon is, how it's related to the economy, what the numbers are, and why there's great urgency in doing things to address it. So this year's special theme of Global Money Week has been quite an inspiration for us, if not a wake-up call, because you see, we realized that through our actions about climate change and through the exhibition, we described the phenomenon and analyzed its economic impact very effectively. We also highlighted the ways that financial institutions select to address it, with an emphasis on central banks, of course, but we did not really offer significant guidance as far as green personal mindsets and behaviors are concerned. We had not actually been calling our audiences to action, as Plan Your Money, Plant Your Future very clearly suggested. So, in accordance with who we are and what we do, we designed for GMW an educational activity inspired by the museum's temporary exhibition for climate change, but we combined it with the permanent slogan Learn, Save, Earn of GMW, and of course the special theme for 2023. The program focused on the interaction of climate change with the economy and on encouraging some greener personal financial mindsets and behaviors that promise a more sustainable individual and collective path into the future. It was based on 3 thematic axes. As you can see here, the first one involved an exhibition tour. It described the phenomenon of climate change, aiming to raise awareness. This was the learn aspect of the program. And then there was a mini game called Save Your Money, Saving Earth, which offered suggestions for green money saving. This was the save aspect of the program. And then there was another mini game called Earn Your Money, Saving Earth, the earn aspect, which was an introduction actually to green employment and professions of the future. The program targeted a young student audience. It lasted 1 hour and was designed so as to be performable either on site during the children's visit to the museum or as an activity outside the museum, based on a detailed storyline that was provided with instructions to be carried out by the teacher in the school, for instance. The latter was necessary for ensuring accessibility by schools or regions which were a long distance from Attica, which is the place where the museum is located. So since we have already had some use of the exhibition, let's have a closer look to each of the mini games. So, Save Your Money, Saving Earth. The game addressed 2 questions of our time that tend to concern more and more of us. You can see them here. How can I save more money? and what can I do to contribute to protecting the environment and tackling climate change. It described how through properly substantiated information and small targeted interventions, we can all contribute to the protection of the planet, but at the same time to the protection of our income and the involvement of the financial situation of each household. The educational game, this is what it was actually, presented and offered practical advice regarding the ways in which personal choices in matters such as waste management, household energy saving, rational water consumption, and transportation cost reduction can have a significant money saving effect. This practical advice was described through a giant puzzle, which the students were asked to put together at first. And then, of course, the museum educator guided them through the interpretation. The main call to action idea here was that all it takes is a willingness to make small changes in our behavior. We offered 36 suggestions. By incorporating these steps into one's day-to-day life, one would be able to save up to 25% of their income, while at the same time benefiting the environment in several ways. I'm not sure if you can see through the pictures here. Each color represents, one of the, saving agendas, money-saving agendas one might have. The second mini game was called Earn Your Money Saving Earth. It aimed at familiarizing the generation with the availability and the possibility of choosing a green career by displaying an indicative series of green professions of the modern labor market with a parallel description of related employment fields and the presentation of data that highlight them as professions of the future. As we know, green employment relates to jobs that help protect the environment. We can see here the specific job areas, let's say that. The main call to action idea here was that by offering optimism about the future scenarios regarding the quality of our natural environment, those who pursue a green career might be the hope for the future of the planet. And of course, we also gave our audience some statistics in order to support our stand. You can see some of them here. They're quite attractive, actually, because, this generation is is in very deep consideration about what to do in the future in order to have a secure income. The insights offered through the program were further enhanced by giving the students the opportunity to dress up as green professionals and have their photo taken in a photo booth, which of course added some extra fun to the learning experience and to us, I have to admit. So, as far as the impact of our GMW 23 program is concerned, let's have a look at the numbers. 550 children and youth participants were reached directly through our online and offline activities. 6,000 adults, mostly the teachers and the parents of the ones who attended, actually, were also reached. And we will have to add the 1,800 employees of our institution that were reached through our internal networks here in the Bank of Greece, as our GMW actions were communicated via the intranet. It's our internal networking channel. All our colleagues more or less knew what was happening here at the museum during GMW. However, and this is the most important thing I perceive to be the greatest impact we had and the most important thing to share with you today. We perceive that our greatest impact in terms of number will be through reaching another 7,000 students until the end of the current school year by offering the programs that were designed for GMW to our regular student audiences. During GMW, we conducted some formative evaluation, which led us to some fine-tuning of the programs. And afterwards, we submitted them for accreditation by the Institute for Educational Policy of the Ministry of Education. We did this in July. And this is a standard procedure for us at the museum. We do it for all our programs because there is a great advantage if you go through the procedure. By doing this, the programs are not only suggested by the museum to all high schools around the country, but they are also suggested officially by the Ministry of Education itself. So as you can see, it looks like this is being a really good year for us and our museum's goals towards fulfilling its mission. And we honestly believe that leveraging GMW's appeal to the general public has helped us significantly towards this direction. And I want to emphasize that because this is, if I could share just one experience with you today, this would be it. The impact to our audiences from GMW doesn't have to end by the end of the week. We can leverage the programs to attract more audiences or offer richer financial literacy services to our already established ones. And I'm sure we do have some of them. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Maria. And I have to say, congratulations. This looks really impressive. You called them mini games, but I'm sure there was maxi effort behind creating them. So
but we do have these, we do have the escape rooms. They are, the games. So they had to be mini games because they would be compared to our other programs by our audiences. So they had to be called mini games.
Okay, I see. Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would now like to give the floor to Eva Sharawi from the Egyptian Banking Institute in Egypt, of course, who will tell us more about their activities. Please, Eva.
Hi, hello everyone, and thank you for the invitation. I'll be sharing the screen now. Can you all see the slides? Did the slides appear now?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Okay, well, what we've done in the past Global Money Week, we have under our initiative Shaping the Future, the Financial Literacy Initiative, we launched something called the Financial Literacy Hub, which it's basically a free website for everyone to access it. It contains different educational materials to fit the learners' preferences. It ranges from this is how it looks. It mainly targets youth, adults, children, entrepreneurs, and financial service providers. And the content varies from e-learning programs, children cartoons, booklets, frequently asked questions, and for entrepreneurs, learning bites, which are short videos explaining some short financial concepts, and consultancy services for entrepreneurs. All the content is there. It's offered in Arabic, and it is aided with the sign language or text translation text. Transcript text. So anyone with the disability, whether a hearing or a visual disability, they can access this content as well. We avail this hub for everyone for free. We mainly focus we disseminate it through our social media platforms, and we've been also distributing it through partnering with several schools and several NGOs to give it out to and to share it out with their target audience. In addition to this, we had also something called the Egyptian Banking Simulation Model, EBSM. It's basically a 40 hours training program on basic banking operations and how different departments in the banks operate and what are their different functions. And then after the trainees finish the training program, they actually go to physical visits to branches, bank branches, and they get to it's sort of a simulation visit, and they get to play the role of the employee to get hands-on experience on how the operations in the banking sector is taking place. Another thing also that we've done is the online sessions. We actually gather a group of banking professionals from different departments and different different sectors within the banks, and they speak or they explain to youth what are the different functions of the banks, how can, if they're, for example, if they're entrepreneurs, how they can benefit from getting a financing for their project through the banks. And also we have sessions on financial inclusion and the benefits of using the banks. Why would they save within the bank? How to save, how to do a budget for their project, and all these things. Also, we had some higher level sessions, mainly for bankers. We partnered with several international organizations where we got experts on different the latest trends in the banking sector and new topics or the hot topics within the banking sector, and we conducted these sessions for banker professionals. And for the on-ground sessions as well, we conduct sessions within the schools, universities. We have sessions dedicated for farmers. How can they go to the how to increase the level of financial inclusion in the country, and how to get people, especially in the rural areas in Egypt, how to get them into the banking sector and how they can benefit from the banking services. We have a money museum as well in Cairo, and we organize visits for students to go there and to get to see to have a tour there, and it's followed by an on-ground session as well on the basics of and the benefits of financial inclusion. On the social media activity we have, I'm sorry, all the things are in Arabic, بس يعني, I'm sorry for that. But basically what we do throughout the year, but we intensify this during the Global Money Week, is that we do some engagement activities, like for example, this one, for example, is sort of a crossword where all of these words are financial terms, and they get to get it out of the box, and then the first one who, for example, gets the correct gets the word out and writes the correct definition, they get to win an award. This is, for example, a puzzle. Here, for example, this one is the sort of a daily tip about quick tips about the financial topics. We do also a series of questions where they get to people get to sort of compete on who would say the correct definition. So people get a very we get very high engagement on these posts throughout our social media platforms. This is basically what we've been doing for the past year during Global Money Week. We're continuing our target for the coming years to continue increasing the content on the Financial Literacy Hub, to have more topics currently that we have, or mainly we target currently, is basically about budgeting, saving, digital banking products, the role of the banks in financing entrepreneurs, and some other topics related to entrepreneurs. We have a dedicated platform for entrepreneurs as well. It's called Ifham Business, or Understand Business. It's basically a platform with online programs, e-learning programs for entrepreneurs, and with a group of consultants where entrepreneurs can connect with these consultants, and they help them and give them real advice and hands-on experience on how to take their projects forward. So this is basically what we did in the past Global Money Week, and our plan next year is to increase the content on the platform, on both platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eva. This was also quite impressive and very interesting. So last but not least, we will now move to our last speaker for today's session, who is Catarina João from the National Bank of Angola. So Eva, if you could please stop sharing your screen, and we can then put up the slides for Catarina. Perfect. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Catarina João from the Central Bank of Angola. First of all, I would like to thank the OECD for the invitation. It's a really great honor. We can go to the next slide. We're going to start talking about the planning our event, how we do with our event. First, we need to create a project, how we have to identify the activities, the location, the teams, the school, the target audience. And we also have a process of administrative process that we need to do before we start our event. And then we also have to identify the templates or the layouts of our project. When we have all this done, we send the letters to our institution and partners. So we need to let them know that we're going to start an event. So we send a letter to invite them to participate. We can go to the next slide talking about our objectives. So we need to have an objective. What's our objective? What's our main goals and what our targets? So the objectives here we can talk about, we want to promote education and financial inclusion among young students. And our goal, we need to establish a goal, what we want to reach with this event. So every year we establish like example, we want to directly reach around 10,000 people, teenagers, children, young people.
Sorry, Katarina, sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you. We don't hear you very well. If you have any way of improving the audio, because we are also getting comments in the chat that people cannot hear you very well. Sorry.
But I can hear. It's better now. It's better now. Can you hear me now?
It's the same, I would say.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry.
Maybe you can just try to speak clearly so that we can understand you.
Okay. Is it better now?
I think it's the same.
It's not better?
That's okay. Please go ahead. That's okay.
So I was saying, we also need to establish targets. What's our target? We need to work with the primary and secondary education students, the youth, the women, with the university students, and then we have the dates. Here, I must say that sometimes we could not go according to the dates that the organization established, because sometimes there's a lot of things going on, and we have to move the event to some other dates. So we can move to the next slide to our main activities, what we do. Yes, here we have the financial education fairs. What we do in the fair, we do didactic guidance on thematic stands, personal finance management, financial system and entrepreneurship. We do playful activities, games, and songs, poems with the students, and we also do a competition in survey on financial education. Next slide, please. We also have the lectures on the other side. We also have lectures. Here we also have the main topics covered. So about the theme, how to plan your money and plan your future. We also choose themes that go according to the main theme. So entrepreneurship as a factor in the economic growth and human development, the relevance of insurance for protecting personal and family finances. So in the lectures for this year, we did 89 lectures, where it participated 5,449 people, which 2,851 are male and 2,598 are females. And we can go to the next slide, please. The next slide. We also have had guided tours where we had the financial regulators, other financial regulators, for instance, the Capital Market Commission, the Angolan Agency for Insurance Regulation. So the students, we select some students to go for the guided tours, also the museum for these tours. We also had this activity concerning awareness campaign where we opened like 1,253,000 Banquita accounts. So it's an open account. We have like a very low percentage of population that have a bank account. So when we do this activity, we also do awareness campaign for bank accounts. We can go to the next slide. Here we want to show some examples of innovative experience implemented during the Global Money Week. Firstly, we had the first time we construct stands for the financial system regulators. Before we didn't have that, and we also had a sign language interpreter. So it was also an innovation that we had on this Global Money Week. Thirdly, we construct a playground for recreation and educational activities. We know that the children and young students, most of them, they learn playing. So we had a playground so that they could also learn by playing. And lastly, we also created a virtual game stage where people could do all the virtual games in this specific place. We can go to the next slide. And here, talking about the outcomes, we started with Global Money Week in 2008. And this is our fifth edition that we have participated. And for this year, we have as I said, we had like 89 lectures and 5,449 participants. So total participation in this Global Money Week, we had like 14,203 participants. We can go for the next slide, please. Here we're going to talk about the lessons learned, what we learned with the Global Money Week. For this, the participation of financial system regulators and other public and private partners, they contributed to bring together the financial education effort of institutions that work towards the population financial literacy. We also had the presence of sign language, as I mentioned before, for the first time. So it allowed the transmission of knowledge about financial service and products to deaf-mute Angolans, and also contributed to social inclusion. And lastly, we had also the creation of financial education fairs. So with the Global Money Week, we also implemented our new project called Financial Education Fair as part of the World Savings Day, mostly because institutions and public in general, they expressed a great interest in being of future events. So as I speak today, we started with our new World Savings Day, week of the World Savings Day concerning the Savings Day. And we can move to the next slide, please. Can you go to the next slide? So here we have showing the publicity and media that we use in the Global Money Week. We public our activity in Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So these are the media that we share our event. We can go to the next slide, please. Here are the kind of materials that we will use for the students to share with the students. So we have the hats, we have the t-shirts, and we also have the bags that we give the gifts. And we can go to the next slide. Next slide, please. So this is also the agenda. So when we do the the lectures, when we send the invitation, we also send the letters to our partners and to other institutions. This is the agenda that we do for the event. And lastly, we can go to the next slide. And this is the invitation that we send. So when we are planning the activity, we also send the invitation to our partners, to the institution, showing what we do and what we're gonna do and the date. So this is the invitation that we send. So this is what I wanted to present. Thank you so much, and I hope that everyone would hear our presentation.
Thank you very much, Katarina, for this overview. We still have a few minutes before closing this webinar, so I would like to just ask one question to our panelists. The question is based on a question that we received from the audience in the Q&A, so I will slightly rephrase the question. Basically, our colleagues are asking about how to ensure that we have long-lasting impact of these financial education programs on young people. Of course, we said before that Global Money Week is a week, so there is some limitation to the impact that one can achieve with activities taking place during this campaign, and it's really an awareness campaign, and in many cases it's used to draw attention to other activities that take place all year long. But I think it would be also interesting to hear from our panelists, like, how do you engage young people in the long term, and how do you ensure, let's say, long-lasting impact of your financial education activities for young people? Who would like to go first? Please raise your hands and I will give you the floor. Maria, please, from Greece.
Thank you. So for us, I'll just share our story. I mean, for us, I told this earlier, we took, in a way, we took advantage of what we designed and created because we had been really passionate about it, and we saw the impact it had to our audiences. We reframed it, and now we're offering the programs on a regular basis. So it's part of what we permanently offer at the museum now. So I would suggest that, you know, taking advantage of the event and being inspired by it, and then perhaps use the programs, fine-tune them, perhaps do some formative evaluations, reframe them, and offer them all through the year. This has worked for us and has actually multiplied our impact.
Thank
But
you,
then again,
Maria.
we are a museum. I'm not sure we have a regular audience. We are a museum, so I'm not sure if this would apply to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone would like to come in on this topic? Otherwise, I have other questions in the chat. Mabel from Austria, please. I think you need to unmute yourself, please.
So thank you. So we approach the whole green financial literacy by trying to expand existing initiatives. So we very rarely produce new formats or education material. We look for other institutions who are very well established in the financial literacy world, and then we will try to implement green topics, sustainable topics into those existing materials, because they already have the connections, for example, to schools or different stakeholders, and that's how we can work very efficiently and get our topics into as many different literacy activities as possible.
Okay, thanks. And Maria Eugenia Pineda from El Salvador, please.
Thanks. I think that the most important thing that we have to have in mind in these activities like the Global Money Week is the coordinating work between institutions from the government and financial institutions, because in this way you avoid the duplication of efforts and you can have a greater scope. And the other element I consider is to incorporate dynamics and teach through an interactive way, because in this way you have the attention of the children, and for they is easily to learn with real examples. And if you have the participation of all the institutions, you can have a complete approach, since every institution has a different role.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And Katarina, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, Sarah, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, going to your question, how do we engage students? Like I mentioned, students some of them they learn playing, so it's good that we involve didactic activities in our program, so that they can focus to how to absorb what we are trying to teach to them. So it's very good when we do a dynamic interactive activities. So that's a good thing to do, and make sure that all other institutions also get involved. You know, they participate, because it's really important. We can see that when we realize this event, a lot of them they ask why we only do this once a year, so we can do this more often. So it's really good that when we involve our students with interactive activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Katarina. I have one more question in the Q&A. It was originally for Maria from Greece, but I think it applies in a sense to all of you. So they would like to know how many people, but you can answer more broadly, like about coordination with other stakeholders and other colleagues to make these activities happen. Like, do you have support from other stakeholders, the private sector, or others? So anyone who would like to answer, please raise your hands. Please, Maria Carbonopoulou. You're muted, sorry.
Well, we are the Bank of Greece. We are the central financial institution of the country. I mean, of the museum works under the framework of the Bank of Greece. So I think that this is perhaps the reason why, people trust the scientific information we give them. And then again, we have a reputation in the educational community as well, as we've been involved with them and their financial literacy since 2010. I mean, it's 13 years already. I think this gives us the credit, and this is the main reason why we reach the numbers. Thank you.
Indeed, of course, this makes sense. Okay, if no one else would like to come in on this point, I think we can close the meeting. We have reached the time. Before letting you go, let me just mention again that the video recording of this webinar will be shared on the Global Money Week website, together with the slides of our excellent speakers today. Let me thank all of them. We had a full gender, not very balanced gender panel, a full women panel. And to remind you about next year. So as Bianca mentioned before, Global Money Week 2024 will take place between 18 and 24 of March 2024. The theme is Protect Your Money, Secure Your Future. So don't hesitate to start thinking about new exciting activities for next year. Thank you very much to the speakers, also to Miles and Magda, who gave opening remarks, and to all of you who participated In this webinar, I saw many familiar names, so I look forward to seeing all of you very soon, and have a good rest of the day. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a nice day.